Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ZombiesLvBacon podcast, episode 98. It is a pretty big number, it is true. We've got a lot to talk about this week, although just off the top of my head, I can't even remember really what happened this week. It's been pretty hectic. There is 0 ukuleles, which is, a good change, I think. No one was impressed by my ukulele playing skills last week, so I'm going to leave it on the shelf behind me.
You'll definitely come across a lot of creeps.
Where have all these cancelable opinions?
You guys keep boots at 60 feet.
That was a picture of my boots.
That's it, that's the title of the podcast. They're rock hard.
That's great advice.
And hello, my only guest today.
It's me.
It's Shelby. She is here. Hello, Shelby.
It feels kind of weird. We're only taking up half of the screen, but I understand, it was a short notice to kind of put us on the whole screen. But I am here, though. I'm your universal constant. I'm always here.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you missed an episode? Have I missed an episode?
I missed the blokes episode.
I think, no, you've had a couple. You had a couple where
And maybe there was one where I was asleep.
I think there was one
like
where you were just like, you were done with it.
It was like 20 episodes in.
Yeah. You were just done.
I felt pretty done with it today, to be honest, but I just had some content juice, so I'm waking up.
Shelby literally asked me to feed her alcohol, and I said, I don't have money to fucking just splurge. So there's still booze in the fridge. Just go fucking have a shot. It's the overproofed rum, though, which is a bad idea.
So I was looking for a shot glass, and I realized we don't actually really have shot glasses in the kitchen cupboard. So I found this little glass that, when you buy like a fancy chocolate mousse and it comes in glass instead of like plastic?
I saw. There.
Yeah.
You drink out of a dessert
It's bigger than a
glass.
shot glass. It's bigger than a shot glass, but it's not as big as a normal glass. So it was probably like 2 shots worth. Anyway, it burned going down. It burned really bad, but I'm here
It's
now.
called overproof. You know the reason why I only brought that one? It's because it's overproof and you can light it on fire. That's why I brought that alcohol.
You brought the fire alcohol. Why
Yeah,
can't you
remember?
light normal
I was
alcohol
making-
on fire?
Because if it's not a high enough alcohol content, it doesn't burn.
But then if you're burning alcohol, you're just burning the alcohol content off.
It's to look cool.
You already look
It was for the stream where I was making flaming cocktails.
Why aren't you making flaming moes?
Because everyone yelled at me and said, "Don't use fire."
Oh, don't listen to people.
You were the people.
Oh.
Anyway, welcome to the
Don't listen
podcast,
to me.
everybody. You can see how this is going. It's going swimmingly already. Fantastic start to what has been a fairly chaotic week, to be honest. It's just sort of all over the place. But yeah, we should talk about some stuff. I'm going to talk about fresh in my mind anyway. Is a rather short notice, but everything kind of aligned, and I got invited to Metro Comic Con, which is a new Comic Con here in Melbourne. Yeah, it was interesting. They had some pretty decent guests lined up. They also had some challenges in getting the guests to come out here because a lot of them were still tied to productions that had kind of halted thanks to the writer's strike.
Yes.
So they had a lot of people cancelling, and they managed to get some more last minute ones to jump on board. And it was a whole. I would hate to do that job. That job is the worst. Trying to organize.
Yeah. Katie O'Brien and I think Tommy Flanagan were affected by the writer's strike. So Katie O'Brien's from the latest Mandalorian season.
If you don't know who Katie
pretty
O'Brien is, she is #1 fan casting to play a particular character in The Last of Us 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like her. She's pretty.
I like her a lot too. Actually, I really wanted to see her, and she was like first up on the Saturday time back table. I'm like, oh, perfect. I'll just go straight in, and she cancelled a couple of days early, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. It happens with these things. But so I just want to, because like the amount of people that reached out to me when I'm like, hey, I'm going to Metro Comic Con. Everyone's like, what the fuck's that? What is that?
I didn't really know what it was until I got invited to it.
Okay, so like I saw, because I like to keep an eye on events and shit that are coming up because I like to be organized, right?
Yeah.
And I saw this thing ages ago. It would have been around Game Expo time. I'm like, new con. Look at that. New MetroCon, Melbourne.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I followed all the socials and stuff. And I think it's been this discussion that keeps coming up. And it came up around DreamHack a lot. And because we know a couple of people that work behind the scenes of DreamHack, we get a preview to that conversation. And the conversation basically goes, hey, if we're going to do this event, can you please buy tickets to it? Because if we know lots of people are coming, then we can spend more money and make the event bigger. And then the people were going, I'm not buying tickets until the event's bigger. And like, well, we can't make the event bigger until you buy tickets. And then what happens is, and this is what happened with like the Crunchyroll Festival thing, is that they're like a week out, they're like, well, we're going to put Hello Live in now, and like sold out. It's just instantly sold out as soon as they do it. But if the tickets were already selling months in advance, then they probably would have announced it months in advance, so they could have done that. They could have planned for it. So anyway, I think the same deal with Metro Comic Con is they started announcing, guest speakers and actors and stuff like that. And then tickets started selling. And then as the tickets started selling, they're going, oh, actually, no, we can afford some more bigger ones now. And then more tickets sold, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger. But the thing was, like, I suppose the biggest draw card, and just purely by the amount of people that were there to see it, was David Harbour, who is obviously the father figure in so many things now that I think about it. But Stranger Things definitely is the number one thing. He's also in the new Gran Turismo movie. He also did the what's the Marvel one? The freaking Black Widow, yeah. And so on. So he's a fairly big actor, but they only announced him kind of a month out. And I think because they didn't have that hype train leading into stuff, like people were hearing about stuff like 2 weeks out because people are like, oh, I brought tickets because I want to see David Harbour. And
So
like, to
good.
what event?
He's lovely. He's getting to that level of like just like everyone's dad sort of guy in Hollywood. Like he's got that sort of fan base behind him, which I think is good. I think he's a nice guy. And from what I see, like all these interviews, he's very like down to earth, which is good. And you look kind of like him, I maintain.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to say no to that. He was also Hellboy.
He was Hellboy.
It's one of the not the greatest Hellboy movies, but hey, he did it. He got there. Yeah. But yeah, it was at the Showgrounds, which is it's a place I haven't actually been back to the Showgrounds for a long time, to be honest.
My last time I was at the Showgrounds was probably like an old Supernova or something like that.
I think the last time I was there was PAX, when PAX used to be there. So I trained out, which was great. Just trained. They've got a station there. All the staff was like super helpful. I just rocked up and I'm like, hey, I'm here to pick up my media pass. And they're like, sweet, come with me. I'll show you everything you need to know, blah, blah, blah. They got like a little media room and stuff like that where we could have sat down, and they're like, oh, this is where all the accredited media, there was like 3 people in there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
the people who run it, Hub Productions, were the original people who ran Oz Comic Con before it changed hands.
Yeah.
And they also run like a lot of really like fan base specific events. So they've done All Hell Breaks Loose for many years now, which is the Supernatural fan events. Yeah. And they also did like a Whoniverse one, so Doctor Who. And just all that stuff. They also did because I looked at their website, they've done Stargate, they did a Twilight thing. They did also a Glee event, which is kind of wild. Hold up.
There's a Stargate event?
There was.
Oh, I want to go to Stargate.
Forever ago. Last one, it looks like they had it in 2011, but they've done like even like the Vampire Diaries event. So they've really like they've done a lot of fan-specific stuff.
This all very much ties into the overall experience, because I just want to paint the picture here, because it's for people that didn't get to go or didn't know there was a thing. Let me explain exactly what it is, right? You rock up, heap of food trucks and stuff outside. Like there was probably 8 or 9 of them, donuts, burgers, Boost, coffee.
The Showgrounds is like the perfect venue to have food
but I say this because when PAX was there, the very first PAX, they had like a pizza van and a burger van. That's it. They had many food here. They had many food here, which was good. Shame the weather was shit, but it wasn't raining at least. It was just windy. It was fucked. But so you go into the main hall, which is quite large, and it was like the biggest like creators artist alley, whatever you want to call it, that I've been in. I think huge.
That's the part that I'm mad that I missed the most, because like
that was the entire building. That was the entire building.
Oh man, it looks so good. I love a good artist alley. I'm a slut for an artist alley.
They also had the 501st were there, and also like all the sort of gaming, the free play stuff that was from Game Expo were all there as well, all the same crew. They were all there, as well as Ubisoft had a Just Dance stage, little thing going on, a few cosplayers. Not a lot of cosplaying talent there, which I think they kind of missed the boat on that, and it might have just been that they just didn't have it organized.
They had 3 guests, I think, that were from
they had plenty of cosplay there, let me just be clear, but like in terms of having a booth and stuff like that, very, very little. But yeah, huge amount of people there. And then the back third of the shed was to line up and get your autographs, your photos and stuff. And let me just say, that is what the people wanted. Yes, like all the other stuff was like just a side attraction. They were there to meet their fans, and they were coming from all over the world to see them. The world.
Because not only was David Harbour there, but Jamie Campbell Bower.
So I went. Like, first thing I did was like, okay, well, I've checked out this player. Let's go check out what the panels are like. It just happened that the panel that was going up was Jamie Campbell Bower, who is 50. Well, it's like split three ways, right? Because I looked at him and that it's Vecna from fucking Stranger Things, which is a big deal, right? He's a big character who. A little bit of spoiler for Stranger Things. They've been setting him up the whole time, but you just had to pick up the breadcrumbs. He's a big character, right?
Yeah.
And no, but the people that were there to see him, apparently he does music, and they're big fans for his music and stuff like that. And he was in Twilight.
And he was also the young Grindelwald in the last Harry Potter movies.
No one cares about Harry Potter.
But like he was in a flashback, so it's not like a big thing.
So basically the way these panels work is because I kind of just wandered in as though everyone was getting set up and stuff like that, and I was talking to some of the staff and I said, what's the deal? I've got a media pass, blah blah blah, all that sort of stuff. And eventually we just sort of sat down and whatever. They bring them out, they talk for maybe 5 minutes, and then it's just straight question time, and people just line up and just do questions, and that's it.
What sort of questions were people asking?
Well, once the questions start, there's no cameras, no nothing, no streaming, whatever. But the thing was, he recognized everyone.
Oh.
He's like, oh, I know you. She's like, yeah, I saw you at Wellington in New Zealand.
Oh.
They were following him around the world to ask him more questions.
That's wild.
But he recognized them.
Yeah.
And there was like one girl, he's like, I recognize you too. And she's like, it's okay, my mum's not here. He's like, oh, I know your mum, yes.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Okay. Some history there.
So it was kind of wild, but a lot of questions about what's your process behind music, how do you feel about this, da 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 da. So it was quite interesting in that. And that was like, what I'll say is they were fans. Like it wasn't like you go to PAX and like you could spot a PAX goer from anywhere, right?
Yeah.
This was like there were old ladies, there was women in wheelchairs, there was men fucking, grown ass men, there was children, like children like 8 years old and stuff like that were asking about Stranger Things. I don't think they're meant to be watching Stranger Things at 8 years old.
God, no.
There was so many of them. One of them's like came up and he's like, hey, can you tell me what fun you had on Stranger Things? And he's like,
cute.
oh, well, I went over to Millie Bobby Brown's house and we lit off fireworks. That was pretty fucking fun.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. All right. Fair. But yeah, so it was very cool. I think if you were like a big fan, so I also saw DB Woodside, who was also, he was in Buffy. He played the principal towards the end of the show. Like he was there at the end of it. And he also did Lucifer as well. Yeah. And same deal, huge amount of fan base, and they were asking about the most obscure TV roles and stuff like that. Like they were there to see him. I didn't hang around to see David Harbour because I saw the line for David Harbour, and I'm like,
he's a draw card. Oh my god, that man.
So, but one of the good things they did do for this is everyone was there for both days. So you could, if you missed out on the Saturday, you could go Sunday. They both had panels on both days. Like it wasn't like you had to go both days. You could go Saturday or Sunday and get the same effect, which is cool. They should definitely do that for a lot of these cons because it's kind of annoying when you're like, oh, I want to see this person on Friday morning and this person Saturday afternoon and that person on Sunday. So I have to go all 3 days. This is like, no, you can see them different times, both days. Done. Sweet as. So yeah, it was very cool. A very chill event. Just lots of families, lots of kids, lots of fans. I would say from a perspective of the only thing I really wanted to compare it to was like PAX, and particularly on like a PAX on a Saturday, it's full of those like 16 to 19-year-old idiots. There's like
who were like, oh my god, games, COD, let's go, Fortnite.
Oh my god, yeah, free keyboard, lol, big W's, big L's.
There for the loot, yeah.
Yeah, like those. There was none of that. It was all just families, kids, cosplayers, like older people, fucking lot of people that were like on like had obviously disability kind of people that they've obviously catered for quite a large.
The Showgrounds is a very good accessible a venue as far as I know.
Yeah, and it was a very diverse amount of people that were all there for the same thing, which is they love something that's happening at the show and they went and saw it. So it was really well done. I like hats off to the people running it. They ran a really good show. I have nothing bad to say about it. The only thing I'd say is that food's always expensive and it hurts because I just kind of wanted to just chill and like just eat food all day and just like hang out with people.
You got so hungry you left.
Well, it's just like if I stay here and like eat another $20 pizza, I'm gonna go broke. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave. Like that, it's like it would have been nice if they just had more of a community vibe kind of area, like just set up an area with tables and chairs and stuff. I think people would have hanged around more because I think a lot of people kind of blew in, went through all the stalls, got their photo, got their autograph, saw the panel, and out they went, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I think that's how a lot of the cons run. I will say that. It wasn't expensive. It wasn't an expensive con. Like it was, your tickets were like $20 at most. For what you got out of it, fantastic. And honestly, more things like that, the better. Like, I mean, we're all very, very open and saying that like Game Expo, even though it was small, it was good, right? Because it was small.
The vibe was good.
The vibe here was like going to the show, but with less people because the show's fucking insane, and cool as shit.
You want to go to the Melbourne show this year?
Hell no, never. I
Brave
don't
the
ever
crowds,
want to.
Get
Nope.
a Birdie Beetle?
Nope.
No?
You know, whenever anyone ever says COVID super spreader event, I just picture the Melbourne show.
I kind of want to go to the Melbourne show one time again soon, just to go to the big food pavilion and try all the bougie foods.
If you were to go, I would go like during the week and in the morning.
Yeah. And also not go on go to the rides and stuff, because that's where the lines get big. All the show bag areas, can't do that. And I like to go look at the animals, and I like to go look at the food.
It's just the people. It's just too many people.
All right, we'll go 8 a.m. on a weekday. Let's go.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. It's 8 a.m. on the weekday is the way to do it. But yeah, no. So like, I just want to say for people that are thinking about like maybe going to like a Comic-Con sort of thing, or because it's not at the exhibition center, so you don't have to go in the city. It's at the showgrounds. It's out of the city. It's much more chill vibe, much more family friendly. It was really good. I actually really loved it.
I wasn't there. I had to go house sit, which was all right, but I kind of missed out on Comic-Con. Kind of wanted to, but yeah.
Yeah.
I got to spend some time with my parents' dog instead, and eat pizza and play Xbox games because I took my whole Xbox with me because I got priorities in life, and hung out with a stick bug. So
that's it. That's the whole highlights.
Yeah, that's it.
That's not really much, is it?
No, but it was all right. It was good to have a chill time. I mean, it's just weird. Again, like going back to an area that's like so isolated, can't really get food delivered except for pizza or anything. Anyway, it was good, but I sort of feel like I missed the opportunity to go to Comic-Con. If I had more notice, would have been nice to go.
Yeah, well, I think like to my earlier point that there was a lot of late notice. There was a lot of people asking me like, "Hey, well, what's the deal with this?" And like, things like I obviously got a media thing, but I only saw that they were doing media through like an Instagram post, and I'm like, "Oh, look at that! I can apply for media. Maybe I'll do that." It'd be more interesting than just sort of rocking up, walking around, taking a photo, and being done with it.
Did you get a fancy badge? You get like the cool
wristband.
badge or anything?
Wristband.
Wristband. Okay, lame.
Well,
I live for a fancy badge.
Okay, you have to understand, and I know a lot of people do understand, and you probably do understand, right? The hierarchy in these events goes general admission, media, VIP experience, go front of the line, priority access, because they spend like hundreds of dollars to get guaranteed photos with their favorite celebrities and go to the front of the line of every line and so on like that. So they got fancy badges that they got to wave in our faces. But media, the only difference is that we didn't pay for our ticket and we get access to a room.
I feel very strongly passionate about the not paying for your ticket part. So,
like I said, it wasn't over expensive. I think the pizza costed more than the ticket.
Yeah,
so
that's true. I sound like a cheapskate now, being like, I don't want to pay for it, but that was like the cheapest con all year. Otherwise, like PAX is much more expensive for 3 days.
I think, I suppose the comment I would make is there's definitely some creators and some people and stuff like that who probably could fit that media side of things and could have attended that event and done some cool things with it. If we had a little bit more notice and like a bit more contact, there was an opportunity to interview some celebrities and do some more media stuff like that and like do proper stuff. And I would have loved to do that, but it was going to be very hard being solo bolo with a couple days notice to go in there and be like, hey, yo, just give us some celebrities to talk to. It's like, nah, I think I'll just
be like, well, what do you do? I go a podcast.
Oh, it was weird when they're like, so what media company are you from? I'm like, Zombies Love Bacon.
You are your company. Look at
I
you
am
go.
the media company. No, it was okay. I just would have liked that more. I just said to him, I said that it's more of a covering the event from the, from a new event, new spectator kind of view. So yeah, it was good. I liked it. I think it was good. I'll probably definitely go next year. I might, do some more. It was good. It was a good event. I think, I just would have liked to see a little bit more love for it. Although there was plenty of people there. It's not like it didn't do well. But certainly they could have done more from having some more featured cosplayers and maybe some more gaming stuff. But
yeah, well, hopefully they'll be back next year and do some more.
hopefully. But yeah, I suppose probably a good segue into another event that's just happening on right now is TwitchCon.
TwitchCon
Paris, which is questionable in its own
Wee
self.
baguette.
Wee baguette rioting at the moment, but
Oh, is it still rioting?
oh yeah, no, they have not
Oh, it's
stopped.
been months. Oh, they have not stopped. Okay, that's nobody knows how to riot quite like the French.
There was a lot of people that were going that kind of cancelled it because they're like, yo, no one's talking about how unsafe it is to be in there. But, content creators, they don't give a shit. They just go because they're just fucking obsessed with themselves.
Is it really unsafe if you're like a normal average Joe in Paris right now? Or is it unsafe if you're like one of the corporations that they're trying to fight against or the government?
I mean, it's more of there's rioting in the street. You could just go down the wrong street and a fucking tank comes down there. It's not.
Well,
it's just that it's all hush hush because you go look it up. I don't want to spread we'll get taken offline if people talk about the stuff that happened.
France, not Russia. It's fine.
Who said Russia?
And I didn't say Russia. Don't worry about it.
Shelby's cooked. Anyway, TwitchCon is happening. I think tickets for TwitchCon go for around a couple $100. I think they're similar to PAX, so
yes,
pretty big event. There's not really much there. Like it's like it's everything it's all streaming adjacent, right? So like Elgato would be there, Logitech would be there, a couple of the brands would be there, like whatever. But there's like,
is there a foam pit?
I don't think there'll ever be a foam pit ever again.
Okay, good to know. I just had to check.
That was an episode of this podcast where we would delve deep into the not so deep foam pits.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, which I think everyone involved, like all the creators and everyone involved, that have had separate dramas since, so it's not non-stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did want to talk about the one thing, and I was trying to remember this because we talked about this on the podcast probably 2 years ago, when we said we could fix Twitch because all Twitch needs to do is to have like a feed like TikTok, so you can just scroll through the clips at your leisure to discover new people with doing stuff that you like, because it's
finally.
And as of last night, they announced that they're fucking doing it. And the only comment they made was, sometimes a good idea is a good idea. Because it is a good idea that everyone's been talking about for years.
Now we just got to get people to use the Twitch mobile app more often. Like,
yeah, the only thing, so they're redoing the Twitch mobile app to do a lot of things, but basically it's also to help replace a lot of the social media crap at the moment, which it is crap, and we will talk about threads and everything else.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure.
Threads.
But at the moment, like if I was to stream, let's pick on Shelby actually. So Shelby,
what are you picking on me for?
It's okay. So Shelby's gonna stream on Thursday, right? But then Shelby doesn't feel like it. So what do? How do you communicate to your people that you're not doing it?
Wait.
What if they don't follow you on Twitter?
Then they go fuck themselves.
Basically, right?
I'm joking. Don't go fuck yourself. I love you people who view me. I promise.
So they're removing that sort of instability, because now if you just open up your Twitch, you can now post stories, like Instagram stories or Snapchat stories, where they came originally, but people forget about that. And you can say, hey, no stream today, I'm out, or whatever. You can also do posts, stuff like that. All of a sudden, your Twitch following is more important from a influencer point of view, because you can now go to events and you can post stories for subscribers only.
Do you think Twitch is going to care very much about people doing promoted posts through their stories?
God, no. They're leaning into promoted stuff because they're trying to also become a catalyst for promotions, because they want to take a cut.
Oh, like oh, guys.
But it's basically it's to replace. So the idea is to make subscribers more important in general, so that they can continue to get cuts from their subscribers, right? So now if you subscribe to your channel, they get exclusive access to your subscriber-only stories. And you might be like, hey, subscribe to me to see my daily stories and whatever. And it might just be that you take pictures of your fucking bagel or whatever. But you know, there's definitely people. There's people that like sell Snapchat to people. You know, it's a way to connect and whatever. So stories, so you can communicate to your wider followers, as well as stories just for your subscribers, exclusive content, so you can do that straight away. They can now scroll the feeds, see all your clips, which are all just in there, and then from your clips, they can basically one button click, be in your stream, one button click, follow your stream, and do that as well. They also added a feature which will now pop up in chat to say that there's an ad coming, and also, which is these have always been there. They're just making it more UI friendly. You will be able to then, as the streamer, be like, "Yo, delay that ad. We're in the middle of something important," and just hit the button and delay it by 5 minutes, kind of thing.
The game is ending. We're in the final cutscene. Hold on, guys. I gotta pause the ad.
Yeah, I think it was might have been when we were finishing Zelda. I was smashing that delay button so much it got to the point where it was like, no more delays. You must show the ads. It's like, damn it.
Yeah.
Because I have over here the little timer and everything going. Some people build it into StreamerBot and whatever. So there's a couple of things. That's all very cool. I think that's all cool. It's what we've been asking for years. I've seen some criticism of people saying, hey, good job, but, you know, fucking about time. You know, could have done this a couple of years ago and would have been really helpful.
Yep.
There's a couple of people that are just like, fuck, I'm sick of social media and this is just more. But then, like, honestly, the amount of genuinely just fucking annoyed with the announcement people that I saw was kind of unhinged. It's just people like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm like, no, this is a good thing. We should be happy about this. It's like people.
There's some people who are just like, oh, Twitch doing something good. I bet there's a cat.
That
like,
was literally it.
Bad.
It was literally it. No, I can't say that I like Twitch. That's not cool.
It's cool to
hate
Twitch. Right now. No, fuck that. I'm sick of people being so fucking negative. Just be positive and like see the good in things. God.
There was so much just pissy negativity. I'm like, this is literally they didn't even have to do this. They could have not done this.
Yeah.
And they've done this for us because we've asked them to do it. We're going to the people that are going to lean into it are going to succeed, basically. Yep. It's going to work. But yeah, it's such a weird sort of thing. And it comes back to that whole Kick versus Twitch mentality shit that's going around still. And it's just like, just fucking do whatever you want to do and leave everyone else alone. You don't have to be pissy and annoyed with people. I don't care what you think. It's like, just relax. You want to stream on Kick? Great, go do it. I've seen people smashing it on Kick. I've seen other people that are telling us they're smashing it on Kick, and then you go to the stream and there's no one there. I'm like, where's all the stuff you're talking about? Is it just cool to love Kick?
I think it is. I think that's the thing right now.
It's a little bit like the crypto bros being like, yo, see all my Bored Apes, man. And then when you look at them and go, yeah, those Bored Apes are 98% less worth they were last year.
Apparently, a lot of people are just giving up on NFTs now, by the way.
There was a particular one that I saw that was worth 3.6 million last year and it's worth 50,000 this year.
Yeah, I don't know why they thought the idea had longevity in it, but it was a great video that I can't even remember who did it, but it was a great video that was, and here's what we can spend 3.6 billion on today, and then they just went shopping, and it's like, god damn. It's like the guy who made Neopets. He is making like a Neopets offshoot game that it revolves around NFTs and cryptocurrency.
Probably
and
not
like
anymore.
the Neopets community fucking hates it because there's still a Neopets community. There's still like 300,000 people who log in every month. And it's no longer owned by the Church of Scientology, so that's good. Anyway, the guy who originally created Neopets goes into like the Neopets fan discords and stuff like that in the subreddit and starts like beefing with people about NFTs, and it's a huge Neopets drama right now. Not that I've played Neopets lately, but if you ever want a good laugh about like crypto bros and NFTs, the original creator of Neopets is big on NFTs and just hates his fucking community because they don't want to adopt NFTs.
Yeah, it's that whole, I don't know. It's that weird thing where people like talk about how amazing fucking NFTs are and stuff like that. But then when you look at it, you go, this isn't amazing. What are you guys talking about?
It's incredibly unstable. And if I wanted to make investments that have dubious stability, I'll just go and invest in a share that's going to have problems. Like, you don't have to go into crypto or NFTs to invest and raise money. Just go do the old-fashioned way and do shares.
Just exactly. Do.
I got shares and shit. I had a bad week last week.
Yeah, okay. I just have one. We need to take a break shortly, but I just wanted to talk about one thing real quick that really fucking hurt my soul, which was while I was on the tram coming back from Comic-Con, I overheard a conversation between two youths. I'm going to say youths.
Gen Zs?
Who were saying that if you have no Wi-Fi, then you may as well be in quarantine. That was the start of the conversation. And then the other person basically said, what does that even mean? It's like, well, if you've got no Wi-Fi, you've got no internet, so you can't do anything.
But you got mobile data.
And then they're, no, not necessarily. And then like, well, how do you listen to music? They're like, well, you get a boombox like they did in the 70s.
In the 70s?
And then the other one's like, but what about Bluetooth? You couldn't do Bluetooth. How do you connect to the boombox? Like, I don't know. How'd they do it in the 70s? The 70s?
We put cassette tapes in there.
What do you mean the 70s? What do you mean?
That's rough. Introduce them to the concept of the original iPod. That'll make them shit themselves.
MP3? CD?
Walkman?
Bitch, the fucking Wi-Fi in Australia wasn't good until like 2012. It's like, what are you talking about?
They were probably like 4 in 2012.
But the 70s?
You feel old, don't you?
The whole thing was perplexing. They have no idea how time works. It's how, what? And then the end of the conversation before they got off the tram was like, how cool would it be if we could get a boombox today?
You can get it. There's always, hey, I fucking call bullshit on that because I see people even in Melbourne walking down the street with a boombox occasionally.
Yeah, but this is the way that went. It's like, oh, it'd be so cool. We could take a boombox and stuff. We could just set it up. It's like, yeah, that's better than syncing to some speaker. Yeah, we wouldn't even need Bluetooth. Just shoot me.
I mean, they are right in the sense that like things that don't require Bluetooth are sometimes just more convenient. So maybe they've just got to look.
Okay, all right, cool. Well, what are they going to do for music? How are they going to play the music on that boombox?
Go fucking...
Go buy a cassette. Where are you buying a cassette from?
Internet.
Yeah, that's right. You're not going to buy a cassette.
Peach PRC sells cassettes of a new album.
Crazy. Anyway, that hurt my soul because I just felt like I was in some kind of time distortion where... I don't even know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I was there. I did the red twine out to try and figure out what the fucking timeline is where they thought that the fucking thing is. Yes, the radio still exists. Exactly. But they're not going to listen to the radio. But also the bands and stuff that they're probably trying to listen to probably are only on SoundCloud anyway. You can't play them on the fucking boombox.
Spotify. Maybe Spotify needs like an analog device where they upload a catalog of music and then you can buy it.
What else do we need to talk about today? Oh, I wanted to talk...
Go on then.
Oh, no, you go first. Why not?
Oh, I worked a new job this week.
Oh, okay.
And I went to work.
Oh.
I touched grass. And I was just going to talk about I talked about it last week about really bougie Melbourne food. And I've been shown all of the bougiest spots around the area. I was going to dox myself there for a second, but I held back about all the places that I've been.
She's now spending all her money on bougie food. She's a Melburnian. Done.
Yep. I found a shop that was dedicated just to tarts and brought you back a tart. But honestly, the tart I had was
What
not
did you
that
just call
great.
me?
You are a tart. And I went to the shop that sells you and I brought you back a tart. And it wasn't worth the money. No, but it was all right. But then my boss just casually drops like $300. I mean, $300.
Holy
just, like,
shit!
$300 on assorted like pastries for everyone that were crazy things that were just like tea leaf pastries and like goat's cheese and salami, croissant and all sorts of wild stuff.
Croissant.
But then I came home because like I'm trying to. Anytime they take me to a food place, I'm buying food because I want to impress them, right? I want them to accept me, be my friends, eventually give me promotions. So I'm getting involved. So I bought tarts and then I bought pastries.
I don't think ever in the world of anything is buying tarts going to get you a promotion.
It makes me look cultured and getting involved, taking their suggestions.
Well, I don't know. If I looked at someone and said, wow, they can afford tarts, they don't need a promotion.
No. They're going to need one to buy more tarts, right? And it's psychology. You want them to associate you buying the tarts with, oh wow, they have a good idea. I'm doing what they say.
You want them to associate you with a tart.
What are you saying about me?
I'm just saying that you're going at this at the wrong angle. You got to be like, oh, I wish I could afford these tarts. Geez, they look so nice. You people on large salaries must be enjoying your tarts.
I mean, it was like $20 for two slices of a tart.
What? That is a slice of pizza from Metro Comic Con.
And I'm kind of broke right now because of it. But I also bought maple syrup butter, maple syrup infused butter. So that's the thing that's in my fridge.
You gonna make me pancakes?
Actually, it would be really nice on pancakes.
Yeah, that's why you should make me pancakes.
You got pancake mix?
No.
It's alright. We don't need it. I got pancake ingredients. We can make them from scratch. I got you. I'll give you the bougiest pancakes.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
But yeah, I've had to go into an office, which is strange again, because I don't usually do that. So I've had to pretend that I am normal, neurotypical, and go to places and associate with people. So it's been a heavy week for me. So I haven't done much aside from do that and then stream and finish Cyberpunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you got a cake.
Oh yeah, you made me a cake. We've had a really pastry-full week now that I think about it. Had the tarts. I've had pastries all week from the Woolies, and then I had more pastries that my boss bought me, and then you got me a cake that says, "Congrats, you did Cyberpunk on it," because I finally finished Cyberpunk and it was really hard, so you rewarded me, and I just ate some, and it was a rainbow cake on the inside. It was delicious.
It was a gay
and
cake.
I think it was gay cake, and I love gay cake, and I think. Because I obviously gave you the Persona one first, like well over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now. You gave me the Cyberpunk one. You're also now playing Persona 5 Royale, so that means I have to give you another cake.
That's okay. I'm not finishing Persona Royale anytime soon. Somehow that game is just 100 hours. Like, it just is.
It's longer. It just, the cutscenes and the pacing of the dialogue keeps you can't speedrun it.
Oh, you could definitely speedrun it. You just don't look at the story. You just speedrun it.
Are you looking at the story? You paying attention?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know exactly what's going on?
Yeah, I need to romance schoolgirls. That's it.
Don't get this cancelled. That is a terrible. Go get your ukulele.
Oh, get in the ukulele.
That's a horrible sentence for you to say. Anyway.
Take it out of context.
I'm just saying, I'll give you more
it'll go viral.
Yeah, well, they don't want that. We'll go viral in the Twitch app with the clips now that we just announced. They're going to clip this part. It'll be what people see when they want to be associated, like seeing your channel. It's going to come up with the whole I romance schoolgirls. So good job. And it was clipped. Anyway,
nice knowing is all. See you later.
I think we should just continue with this whole cake exchange, right? I think it's mutually beneficial. I make a cake, you get cake, and then you get
I get
cake.
diabetes.
we get motivated to finish difficult long games.
I finish games anyway. Cakes. All right, that is my new catchphrase.
Yeah, but you whine about it, so now I should at least reward you.
Am I whining about it?
Do you want cake or not?
No, not necessarily. It's not a healthy thing to eat cake all the time.
Do you want? Maybe I should get pancakes and ride on pancakes. Congrats, you finished Persona.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you're always down for pancakes, but you know, pancake is like cake, right? It's just pan cake.
Anyway, moving along. While Shelby was finishing Cyberpunk, I got invited to go see a scary movie, and Shelby didn't want to come with me. And
no, I've been really tapped out of all the things you've been invited to this week.
Yeah, you just tap out. Don't want to go. And I did line up. I did find a friend who was very hyped to come to Scary Movie, but unfortunately, she got caught up at work and couldn't go. So I went alone, but that's okay. I went and saw Insidious: The Red Door, which
horrifying.
I had no idea what it was about. Apparently, it's the fifth movie in the Insidious theory.
Yeah,
something.
It's got like a cult following around it, which is funny because I haven't really heard much about Insidious.
I've heard about some other ones, and there was definitely some clips and stuff that people brought up afterwards. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that. That's terrifying.
Oh, that ties in. Yeah.
Doesn't help that from all the talk that we talk about, like Ouija boards and spirits and ghosts and stuff like that.
You know too much. You got too much insight.
This was basically what that movie was about spirits in the other world.
And bringing home demons?
Yep.
All right. So you don't want me to bring home demons?
No, don't bring home demons. Or in this case, the kid brought demons to his college dorm room.
Oh.
Yeah. So the movie itself is fine. It's a horror movie. It's not going to win any awards. There wasn't a lot to it. It's basically, hey, you got demons. Get ready to be scared. Also, college, bro. That's pretty much the movie.
Somewhere an MRI machine came into it.
Well, it's because the father was like, so basically the whole plot of the movie is that they can cross over into this like realm of demons. And they did it by accident, and shit went bad. And then their way to fix that was to go see a fucking mentalist to make them forget about it. And then, but apparently, in the process of doing that, the father, like, he's like his personality changed because he was suppressed. So then he goes to fucking try and figure out what's wrong with him, and that's the whole MRI thing. And then, of course, he gets attacked in it. So I just want to talk about, first of all, movie's fine. If you were going to the movies and you wanted to shit yourself, it's great. It's not the kind of movie that you'd watch on Netflix and be like, wow, that was really engaging. No, it wouldn't be. It would be terrible.
You go there to get scared.
It's the sort of movie that I'd used to go with my mates on a Friday and we'd all just go to the movies, and then when someone shits themselves, we'd all laugh and point at them. It's that kind of movie. That's what we did. We talked about this on the podcast because anyway, it doesn't matter. So I was looking at like reviews and stuff like that, and they're kind of cagey with the embargo as well, which is always a red flag. And the reviews and stuff have just been like, it's whatever, it's crap, basically. It's not flash crap, but it's crap. But I think that also that stems off again, it's an experience. It's not a great movie. But this is the thing, and I don't want to delve too deep in it because there's so many people delving into it, and there's a lot to be said. Every movie's flopping. Every single movie is doing terrible.
People just don't want to go to the cinema.
Pixar, terrible. Indiana Jones, terrible. Little Mermaid, terrible. Flash, terrible. They're all doing terrible. They're all well below budget. And this movie that has fuck all budget is going to make money. It's going to be a more successful movie, even though it's a worse movie than half of those, because it's fucking, they didn't blow the budget. Indiana Jones has got like a $360 million budget.
Does Insidious look low budget?
Yeah, there's like 7 actors in it total.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's low budget.
May as well be a bottle episode.
So that's all. I don't want to go delve into it. You can delve into, a lot of people are talking about what's wrong with cinema, so on like that. And like I think a large portion of it, and particularly like you talk about the Pixar thing, is like there wasn't enough hype for me to be hyped about it. I'm not going to go see it. I'm just going to watch it on Disney Plus. That's it. The price of going to the cinema. If I go, hey Shelby, let's go to the cinema, and you're like, I really feel like a popcorn and a choc top. And I'm like, well, I feel like a Pepsi
bankrupt.
Max. No, not only are we bankrupt, we could have taken the same amount of money for the two of us to go to the cinema and buy Disney Plus for a year.
I honestly do know that people really consider the cost of food now before going to the cinemas, and I think it's worse in places like America where they're really strict on you taking in outside food, so they have to hide it and smuggle it. So in Australia, it's not so bad because you can go to Coles and like buy some food if we really wanted to go to that effort. Because people. The food component is like a big part of the cinema experience for a lot of people, and if they can't afford the food, they don't really want to go. Period.
Yeah, especially if you've got kids. If you have to buy food for 5 people, then it's never going to happen. So that all aside, I also think that batch of movies are mid at best.
Yeah,
at best, and I feel like Oppenheimer, Barbie, and Mission Impossible are going to prove that it's not about like how much hype or marketing you can get around a movie. You need to make a fucking good movie as well. And
I've seen pictures
Mission
of the
Impossible
Oppenheimer reels. Ugh.
Mission Impossible, 98%.
Because Tom Cruise still does his own stunts. He's crazy, man.
It's just because it's the fucking, they know how to make a movie. Like they're making a movie. They're not out to, it's not out to add another chapter to a franchise to rake in a profit. They're like, no, we want to make a spectacle. We know it makes money. Doesn't matter. Just spend whatever. And that's it. And that's how it's going to go. So we didn't get to go to the preview screening. It's out now. So we'll probably have to just pony up that year's worth of Disney Plus subscription and go in and see it. But that's fine. We'll do that. It's okay. But yeah, Oppenheimer and everything else. So I just want to park all that to one side. I think that's a whole conversation that we could talk about for an entire podcast, and I don't want to bore everyone to pieces. But there was one thing that I wanted to bring up is when I came back, and this all ties back to the fucking ad thing as well. I came back from seeing the preview screening, so fresh in my mind, just saw Insidious, right? You were streaming, so I was on Twitch, and every fuckhead who doesn't turn off their pre-rolls, I swear to God, you murder my soul, all right? every pre-roll was an Insidious trailer. So I was like, oh, so-and-so's streaming. I wonder what they're streaming. Insidious trailer. I'm like, God damn it. So I sat there for like 20 seconds of Insidious trailer. I'm like, no, I'm done. All right, I'll click this person. Another Insidious trailer. I'm like, God help me. Why does no one turn off their fucking pre-rolls? So I didn't actually watch anyone's streams and go and see anyone. I ended up just watching your stream because I was already subbed and therefore didn't have the fucking ad.
Yeah, you should be watching my streams.
Yeah, okay, I was watching.
Only
had
mine.
multiple screens. Okay,
No, I'm number one. Just me.
Anyway, the thing that came to me after the 7th Insidious trailer is that 50% of that trailer is not in the movie. Like all the scariest stuff out of that trailer is not in the movie at all.
That's not good.
It looks like a different movie. It's not necessarily bad, but it's also not great because if people think that this is going to be like, it kind of painted it like they're in this other realm for a lot of the times doing, spooky stuff and there's like spooky mannequins and stuff like that. No, not really. It's maybe 10% of the movie. It's much more just being like uneasy and trying to set up jump scares is pretty much the whole movie. So it was a really weird experience because then I saw, I think Barjo tweeted recently. He's like, this bit's cool, but it's not in the movie. No, he was tweeted about Indiana Jones. And he said that in the trailer, and he took a screenshot, there's a whole thing where like the giant boulder chases him, just like in, previous
The
movies.
originals, yeah.
Yeah, it's not in the movie.
Do you think they're doing these extra shots just for the trailers to build hype, marketing? And then
yes and no. The thing is that trailers get cut usually by a different company.
Yeah.
And usually months in advance. So that like when it comes to the final cut of the movie, it's always a little bit different to a degree. Marvel obviously have got a history of CGIing out shit to fuck around with you.
Yeah.
But I think in general, it doesn't make sense why they would cut it out of it. It's maybe that maybe the movie was longer and had more in it. And then when they cut the trailer, they cut all this cool stuff in it, but then they're like, hey, we're going to cut the movie down a bit because it's a bit long, and they cut out some of this stuff. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It's just very weird sort of sensation because it's not a little bit. It's a lot of the trailers not in there. But yeah, they definitely do it. I think in what Barjo said is that they probably watched that movie and saw the rolling ball bit was a bit cringy and they sort of took it out, which happens as well. Like it's
probably a bit too on the nose.
Yeah, and you see it with The Flash, and I know there's a lot of hate for The Flash, but The Flash is The Flash. It's whatever. But there's like almost hard cuts to jokes that then go hard cut back to no joke in there, which is obviously they did a test screening and people are like, that's good, but it's not very funny or it's not very fun. And like, okay, we're going to cut a joke in here. There's like, because there's literally like a bit where Flash saves someone or whatever, and then he's like turns to Wonder Woman. He's like, I've never had sex before. And then she's like, okay, well, I got to go. And then off they went. And it's like, wow, that's really weird.
That is really weird.
It was like a very cheap shot joke going in there. And it's like, it's meant to be he had the lasso of truth that was touching him, so he had to say something. But that's what they chose for him to say. It's like, what the fuck? That's not a good joke. That's weird, kid.
It's kind of cringy.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that, unfortunately. I just had this thought because like people were talking a lot about how The Flash had been really poorly received. Black Adam did better, which in my opinion, Black Adam's a better movie anyway. But there's a parallel universe where they canceled The Flash and they brought out Batgirl instead. And I think that universe is better. I think that they in today's like climate, they would have been better putting out like a better driven, like a female lead, new characters, fresh take movie in a Batman universe than trying to get Ezra Miller to be likable, because it's just not working.
They're really unlikable.
So yeah. Apart from that, like, while we're talking about movies, there is a little bit that I wanted to talk about as well. It's a little bit. It's Barbie adjacent.
I like Barbie. You got my attention.
Our favorite topic, or my favorite topic, is that I like to flex, is that there's so many video games turning into movies, and the hype train for Barbie has been so strong. There is almost as many toys turning into movies now. It's kind of crazy.
Transformers.
No, Mattel toys. You name a Mattel toy, any of them, there's a movie coming.
Fuck, you put me on the spot. Hang on, what's my bad knowledge?
So one of them that came up is a Hot Wheels movie. that
Oh
got
yeah, Hot Wheels, right?
that got offered to J.J. Abrams, and he said, I can't foresee any way of doing this properly, and sort of basically knocked it back. And then they gave him a new script, like they rewrote the script and came up with this concept. And J.J. Abrams said, that's fucking good. And now he's on board and they're going to make it. But yeah, if you look up Mattel,
I could see them doing like a Polly Pocket movie or an American Girl movie. They're their other brands.
Is that all?
Oh, they've got more, but a lot of them are like tied to Disney. So they've got Fisher Price, which is Air. They've got Disney, Disney Princesses, Disney Frozen, Jurassic World, Little People, Mega Bloks, Uno, WWE, Disney Cars, Power Wheels, Mattel Games and Mattel Creations, and Monster High.
All right, okay.
So out of the ones that I said, I think they're the candidates for films because, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they haven't got a full list here, but I
don't think they would do any more Monster High ones because
Mattel has signed over the rights to 45 toy company franchises to be made into movies. Obviously, includes Transformers, which is it's a bit of a spoiler, but who gives a shit at this point? There's also now the next Transformers movie is no, you don't know?
No.
G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe.
Oh, yeah, shit. Sorry. I was a bit stuck because last time when I was talking about it on stream, you stopped me because I was spoiling it for people.
Yeah, you were spoiling it. But yes, at the end of Transformers, they get signed up to the G.I. Joe program. That is the end of that. That is their next movie. So it is a shared universe, which will be shared with Hot Wheels, He-Man, Polly Pocket, amongst just a few others. But they're
hold on, but no. Transformers is Hasbro, not Mattel.
No, but okay. Well, hang on. Sorry. Transformers are doing their thing, and now Mattel's doing their thing. There's two cinematic universes. Toy cinematic universe. Sorry. My God. I'm already confused by this whole thing.
You're confusing yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just, because this article is talking, I just brought up in this article, and it's got a list of so many fucking toy brands. Oh my God. I'm dying here. But yes, it's crazy. But yeah, so there's a lot going on. Obviously, G.I. Joe is interesting. I think that's a good takeaway from.
Hasbro also has Play-Doh as an IP. The Play-Doh movie.
Play-Doh movie.
Play-Doh movie. There was a Lego movie. Anything's possible. They also have Furby movie. They could do a Furby movie. Oh fuck! I would so go to a Furby movie. Fuck yeah! Furbies are the best. I love Furbies.
All right, this site has. Here's 14 other toy Mattel might make into movies. Hot Wheels, well, we already talked about. Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Oh, hell yeah.
Barney the Dinosaur. Major Matt
Barney
Mason.
Remember what happened to one of Barney's
Masters
actors?
of the Universe. The Magic 8 Ball. Polly Pocket is here again, so it's definitely happening. You know, the movie. Bob the Builder. Matchbox. I forget about Matchbox.
Them and the Holograms? I think they already did a recent
American Girl. Actually. What the fuck is a Boglins?
I don't know what a Boglins is.
Ugh, that's terrifying. Viewmaster. Bass fishing.
Oh, Boglins are ugly. What the fuck?
Anyway, it's open slather. They're going nuts, basically, is what the moral of the story. And yeah, it's just it's everywhere. But I don't know. It's wild. The whole thing's wild.
Disney will start acquiring toy brands because Marvel's not going well. I call it. You watch.
Yes and no. I think they don't need. They have enough IPs. I mean, their thing. They're doing live action, turning all the animations into live action still. They're doing Moana now.
They got to stop doing that. Moana's not even old. Moana's only like 5 years old, 6 years.
Well, what else have they got? What else have they got to do?
They could just stop and make new movies.
No. They have to keep making movies.
No, they could.
If they can't come up with ideas, they need to use old ideas to make movies because movies make money. That's how they stay in business.
I really hope they don't do a Tangled live action.
They have to do all of them. They're doing all of them.
No, they don't need to. Just make a good original movie.
They have no new original ideas.
I'm sure somebody does.
Name an animated movie that they haven't turned into live action yet, because it's getting short, that list.
Encanto.
What?
Encanto.
That's brand new. That's like a year old.
Yeah, that's new. It's new, so it hasn't been turned into a
I'm just saying, they just did The Little Mermaid, right? They're doing Moana yet.
Frozen.
Mighty Ducks.
They haven't
Get
done
out of here.
Frozen live action yet.
They will though.
They will. They definitely will. They've technically Frozen's already been in live action in the TV show Once Upon a Time.
I just like to bring out
has a stage
also.
show.
You can't do The Land Before Time because there's already 13 of those movies. But have you seen the movie Dinosaur? Have you seen Disney's Dinosaur?
Isn't that the one that's like a semi-realistic documentary, but it's about dinosaurs and their CGI?
No, well, kind of. You kind of hit the. It's a movie. It's a kids movie. It came out like after it was.
It's not The Good Dinosaur, is it? That's a Pixar one, I think.
No, it's not that one. It's this. This was just Dinosaur. And anyway, I watched it. I remember watching it. I thought it was shit. And I'm like, this is a really weird CGI Disney movie. I did not realize that it is mixed reality. So everything's shot in real life, and then only the dinosaurs are fake.
Oh yeah, I watched this. It was not good.
So they went out and they filmed everything because I only saw it because Corridor Crew did a breakdown on it today. So and they were showing how they like comp the dinosaurs in the grass and stuff like that, because it's basically they use a mixture of blue, green, and red screens. So the red screen would be the dinosaur running through the grass, so they can comp out the red screen and put a CGI dinosaur in it.
Yeah.
And that's how they came up with that whole. They did that movie simply to make the technology so that they could go do all the live action, Lion King, everything else. It's I don't know. I hated that movie though. I thought it was absolute garbage. But back then, which I think they said on the show on Corridor Crew that it was like the second time that they've done like fully CGI characters, like in a full motion picture main character thing, and the only person before that was Jar Jar Binks.
These dinosaurs look very Jar Jar Binks.
They look very Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
So live action Disney movies that are in production coming up. Obviously, we know about Moana, Mufasa, The Lion King.
No, stop making spin-off of. Okay, so not only are they doing live action versions of things that are out, then they're doing spin-offs of those live actions.
It's not a spin-off, it's the sequel.
It's the spin-off about Mufasa. It's not the sequel because the original sequel to The Lion King 2, is a directed video movie.
They're also doing the next one coming up anyway is The Haunted Mansion, which they're trying again.
That won't take off.
No, they won't take off. I think they're just trying to sell rides at Disneyland. And Snow White.
But there was a Snow White and the Huntsman. I know that wasn't Disney, but
no, that wasn't Disney. But their closest thing was what, Maleficent?
Maleficent was Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty. So this is Snow White. So there you go. It's a different one. So there you go.
No.
And
no
then
more.
something called. They've got a live action movie called The Haunting in Venice, which sounds like they're trying to sell a fucking Disney. I don't know what that is either.
That sounds like a ride.
It sounds like a ride.
I mean, they gotta sell tickets to Disney World.
So Snow White is March 2024. Oh, Lilo and Stitch.
Oh no, I don't want to. I'm very passionate about the original movie and the TV series. They're going to ruin it because Stitch is like a little alien dude, and they're gonna try and make him CG, and it's gonna look wrong. It's gonna be like Ugly Sonic.
Next year too.
No.
Then Mufasa, then Moana, and have they got anything after that? The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
No.
Oh, the Aristocats. I think Renegade pulled it out, did he? No, Biggie said it. Yeah, Aristocats are in development. Look at that.
Fuck. Well, not everything needs a sequel. Not everything needs a spin-off. And not everything needs a live-action adaptation.
Hercules, Cruella 2, Tinkerbell.
Cruella 2's happening.
The Sword and the Stone, The Jungle Book 2.
No, that's not even they're not even good
Bambi,
original movies.
Aladdin 2.
Bambi. I don't need to see Bambi die
Robin
again.
Hood, The Black Cauldron. Oh, okay. So this is my point, though. They need to make movies. They need to make money.
They're diving into the vault.
You wanted to know what they're doing because Marvel's not working? That's what they're doing.
It's hurting my brain.
And you know why they're doing it? Is because these movies, like, they might not fucking, like...
It's nostalgia bait.
Well, The Little Mermaid didn't do well opening weekend, but has made money since.
Yes.
They make money slowly but surely. They sell Disney Plus subscriptions. They sell DVDs. They make money eventually. Yes. And then they can reboot them in 5 years or 3 years or 2 years. Depends on how desperate they get. So, Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. But you wanted to know what they're working on? That's what they're working on.
I wish I didn't ask.
Yeah, well, probably, bit of hindsight. And it's that time of the week.
Shit Towns of Australia, our weekly news wrap up, courtesy of the Facebook group, Facebook page, Shit Towns of Australia, where you get to find out what happened that may not have made the big headlines. All the lovely towns in Australia and what they've been up to.
In Queensland.
In Queensland, definitely. Queensland does have like a lot of entries this week too. Yeah, I can't say they don't.
Yeah, boy, go Queensland.
But there is something different this week. Number 10 is not Port Pirie in Adelaide for once.
Oh.
It is actually Sydney.
What?
Sydney
Where's Port Pirie?
It's at number 11.
Oh, what?
There's just been a busy week.
It's just been a busy week, so they just bumped it one.
Week.
It's their top 11.
Mm-hmm. So Sydney, New South Wales, number 10 of shit towns this week because trains were halted as a runaway spoodle completes 2 laps of the Harbour Bridge and train network shuts down due to a single worker calling in sick.
I saw that
and the
one.
Christian Girls' Schools redesigns their garden after realising it was shaped like a massive cock.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, what's wrong with big cock gardens? TCP.
It's a girls' school.
Oh, okay. So it should be a vagina.
But also that it's like maybe. But I just mean like it's a school for kids. So maybe not have,
it's for children?
Yeah, maybe not have a garden that's like shaped like a penis.
Do you think it was deliberate? Do you think that some
maybe
gardener's
like
like,
an
yo,
architect?
watch this big
A
pee-pee
landscaper?
right here?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, what's that brand of computers? Hammer Forge? Like, it's a hammer, but it's clearly just a dick and balls.
It's a dick and balls, yeah.
It's a dick and balls, yeah.
It's probably the landscaper's fault. But number 9 is Glendale, Queensland. Genius suffers from extensive burns while torching a stolen car.
Genius.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he used gasoline or something and lit it on fire improperly and it trailed to him and got him caught on fire.
It's like those people that like come up and they're like, yo, man, watch me splash some petrol on the fire. And it splashes and goes straight up their arm. It's like, excellent, good work. Idiot.
Not smart. But we do have an entry from Adelaide, South Australia as number 8. And it's one of my favorite ones where I say that every week somebody has to crash into a police car.
Oh, yes.
Drunk driver crashes into a police car while attending the crash of another drunk driver.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so the drunk driver hit the police car while the police car was pulling over the drunk driver.
No, so the police car was already pulled over attending to another car crash, and then the police car got crashed into by another
that's what I
driver.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all they needed was another car to come to stop them, to pull up, another police car, and then another one, and then we could have got Blues Brothers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But next up is Hobart in Tasmania.
Yes.
Number 7. Do you know about this? That's why you said yes?
Just Hobart. Okay. Go Hobart.
Trio of 14 to 16-year-old kids charged after allegedly robbing a bottle with a pocket knife before trying to escape by bus.
Okay.
I don't know. Why would a bus be a good escape plan? It's on a route.
Because they're too young to drive. They're old enough to thieve, but they're not old enough to drive. So they got to catch the bus.
I guess so. They could have. I don't know.
What, steal the car?
Usually, Eshays run around on scooters, and I imagine a lot of these happen because of
There's a lot of hills in Tasmania.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, that's probably it. Get tired.
Yeah.
Number 6, though, is Gold Coast, Queensland. Bastard burglars steal a family's car and dog, trash house, and throw baby photos in the toilet.
Why?
I don't know. That's like not even just I'm robbing this house to steal stuff. I'm robbing this house to actually just be a horrible person.
Yeah, this is I want to hurt your family or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to emotionally destroy you by stealing your car, your dog, trashing your house, and throwing your mementos in the toilet. That sounds personal. It has to be history there of some kind.
Exactly. It's personal.
It's personal. Number 5 is Perth, West Australia. A 10-year-old girl was mugged outside of McDonald's. And a bloke had his car impounded just because it was missing a bonnet, door, windows, lights, and number plate and had the bumper held on by zip ties and was sprayed painted with the words "fuck cops" with FUK.
I wonder why it was impounded. I'm sure that's not offending anybody or dangerous in any way. It definitely is roadworthy.
It sounds like he's just driving around on a frame with wheels at that point.
Also, why is the sound? Why is a 10-year-old getting mugged at McDonald's making me so hungry?
That's horrible. Are you good?
I'm hungry for
Don't
McDonald's.
think about chicken nuggets at a point like this.
Nuggets.
You should not do shit towns Australia while you're hungry. I need to start
Nope.
feeding you.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're okay with that. You just want to be fed.
I might mug a 10-year-old.
Something wrong with you. Anyway, Townsville, Queensland. Our frequent flyer is number 4 this week.
Go Townsville. Queensland.
Gronk steals car at gunpoint, and pests in a stolen car pelt cops with rocks. An elderly woman was pushed over and robbed by a fat bogan with a rat's tail.
With a rat. Did you say fat bogan with a rat's tail?
That's how the Facebook page describes it. A fat bogan with a rat's tail. I'm just reading it as it's presented.
All right. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Townsville things, I guess.
Townsville things, I guess.
Number 3 is Alice Springs, Northern Territory, which we haven't seen here in a while. But 13 kids as young as 8 years old were arrested after hooning through town in 2 stolen cars.
Yeah, I did see that one.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately that's kind of a regular occurrence at the moment. They've got some real issues going on up in the old NT. See you in the NT, as they say.
Yeah. Number 2, I'm just gonna breeze past it because it's awful. A guy was charged after having sex with a dog. Nothing else to say about that. Number 1 is Brisbane, Queensland as well. Home invaders stabbed 3 men and killed dog. And then there's the second one is muggers stabbed 3 men in Fortitude Valley. But actually, police are investigating a link between both cases. They think they're the same people.
There's a lot just happened right now, and I haven't processed any of it. Next.
It's all in Queensland. That's it. That was number 1.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't know. What?
Queensland's having a week. Again, as usual.
Yeah, again, as usual.
Is it because, okay, is Queensland always in this list because there's something wrong over there, or because Queensland's so big? And it covers a lot of area, so a lot of potential problems.
Would have to get a Queenslander on to be exact, I think. But my understanding is, particularly like Townsville and that, particularly those coastal towns up there, it's that large amount of like backpackers, travelers, transients. And because it's Queensland, like they won't come to Melbourne. It's too fucking cold. Like they go up to the tropical area and they think they're going to work on their beach and bars. I don't think
these are backpackers doing this, right? A lot of the time.
No. It's part of the fact that there's been that culture for so long. Like the people just kind of, it's not like hippies. It's like transients and just sort of people. But right now, when it gets cold and wet and shit in Melbourne, right? That kind of craziness dies down because
it's too cold to rob people.
People can't go out in the street all night and hang out. It's fucking wet and miserable.
You can't stab people when they're wearing like 2 puffy black jackets.
In Queensland, all year round, it's fun. You just walk out. It's just humid. And that's why in the middle of like July, we get crazy shit from up north and less crazy shit from like Melbourne. Melbourne didn't make the list this week. No Melbourne.
No Victoria at all.
No
We've been well behaved.
Tasmania is different though because they're weird. But that's like I said, you'd have to ask exactly. But I know from the very few times that I've been to Queensland and the certain areas that I've been to Queensland, and Fortitude Valley, for example, was just like the Wild West. It is what it is. And then like because Melbourne, when it gets super hot in Melbourne, right? Like when we get the heat waves where it gets like 35 degrees, 40 degrees for a week. We get all this kind of crazy shit because everyone leaves their fucking government housing because it's shit, and they go down to the beach and they all get rowdy and they fucking punch on at the beach, and that's when you get people chasing each other down St Kilda Beach or whatever.
I mean, growing up, I definitely lived in a house that sometimes it was actually cooler outside than inside.
Yeah, they go down the beach. It's just a thing that happens, but it's it's kind of nuts,
kind of crazy.
I don't even know what those numbers Victoria's posting in chat are.
He's posting about the population because I was asking if Queensland was just bigger and maybe that was why. But no, it's just
no, it's
Victoria
not.
is bigger than Queensland.
I think the split of like internationals would maybe be a bit more. I don't know. It's not. I'm not saying that it's just foreigners. I'm just saying that there's like, for example, all right. If we went and polled New Zealand and said, "Have you been to Australia?" and then asked them where they've been to in Australia, the largest poll will say the GC, mate. We go to the GC. Gold Coast, bro. We go on to the Gold Coast with the boys, bro.
Yeah.
It's just the way they are. It's just it attracts that kind of, I don't know, clientele. It's weird. But like I said, we'll have to get a Queenslander on to get exact. Queenslander.
Absolutely. Well, that was shit towns of Australia for the week. I know that I've already seen some news articles the last few days that are going to be in next week's because
I've seen some shit.
Happening.
I've seen some shit.
Shit's been going down in Australia.
I've seen some shit.
Just stay home. Get out of here.
We haven't got a lot of time. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. We should talk about Threads, but before we talk about Threads, let's talk about something a little bit lighthearted. For those who enjoy talking about computers and stuff like that, I just want to talk about this. This came up. It was a school that had an issue where they found that people's passwords were not strong enough, right? They wanted people to change their passwords and do to something a bit more stronger. So the IT team came up with this great idea. They basically said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to email everybody. We're going to tell them all that they need to change their password, and we're going to change all their password to password 123.
Oh, no.
That's in their brain. They went, excellent. Everyone knows what the password is. We'll just change it. They just change their passwords. No, everyone knows what everyone else's password is now. Because you just told everyone that everyone's password is password 123.
That's so lazy. That's a bad IT guy. He should have gotten sacked.
Immediately the school went and logged into everyone else's fucking accounts and there was just chaos.
God, that's so bad.
Who
signed off on that? That's pretty fucked.
They just didn't think that through. And I know people that I work with that would do that exact thing where they just don't think that second step of, hang on, yes.
What if people will use this for evil?
What if people, exactly. What if people don't do what you tell them to do? You gotta
cater for the lowest common denominator.
Exactly. So apparently it took them, they must have done it like 4 p.m. on one day. And by the next day, all chaos was out and they didn't realize. And then they changed it to everyone has unique
So what
passwords.
sort of things were people accessing? Was it like gossip? That they
Well,
were
if you have any idea how school systems work, particularly these days, is you basically log into your computer. Like it's a remote desktop, essentially.
Yeah.
You can log into someone else's desktop, their drive, all their work, their emails, their Word documents, everything. All you need is their password. There you go. Everyone's got the same password, so you can log in everybody. Yep. It didn't say whether or not they did teachers as well, but who fucking knows at this point?
Probably.
It's a fucking great one. I just think that is just an absolute schmozzle of a fuck up. But yeah. Speaking of schmozzles and fuck ups, kind of part 2 of the conversation that we had last week about how Twitter is going down the gurgler because it makes no money and Elon doesn't want to pay for it anymore.
And then last week, I think we were like, oh my God, Threads is coming.
And then, no, we didn't. We didn't actually. Last week, because we talked about this thing, and then after the podcast, I came and told you that Instagram's working on stuff. Put all your eggs in Instagram. Because I didn't know what it was called yet. Because I just knew that Instagram were working on shit. And yeah, so basically, the short version is the Zuck, which I hate that he's dubbed himself that now. The Zuck has always wanted Twitter to be better, saw that it was failing, got some guys to start working on a Twitter replacement in January, and got a little bit cocky, dropped that ball, and said, here's fucking Threads. Here it is. And it's basically took a big old steaming dunk on the Musk, which Musk is not happy about. And yeah, it fucking dunked on it. Now, listen,
enjoying Threads.
Is it good? No, not really. It's working on it, but
it's basic. It's bare bones. It does. Yeah.
It's missing a lot of core features, and it's got a couple problematic features, and it does raise the questions of, can you give a company like Meta this much power and not expect them to own your soul? Things like that. But in the general aspect of it, they did a couple of the smartest things ever, which was gave everyone what they wanted, which is they wanted no Twitter, because Twitter is a hellscape.
Yeah.
And then they said, here's, you tie it to your Instagram and we'll instantly follow all the people that you already follow on your Instagram. And then you get that instant dopamine hit because you don't start at 0 looking for people. You start with your Instagram friends joining in.
Your friends are already there. And then every 5 minutes you get notifications of being like, your friend joined Instagram. They're following you already now.
The smartest thing they've ever done, and if any social media's ever done, to make you not have to start from 0, to make people like feel like they're getting a following. Like people that literally, like celebrities and stuff like that, just started an account, haven't done anything, and have 5,000 followers. I mean, that's fucking great. They're going to love that shit. That's fucking bonus. as bonus social credits. It's kind of nuts, but they've already, like, Zuckerberg's already came out. I don't know what the last number I saw was 77 million. And like he's already come out saying that
he's happy.
They're going to work on some features and put in there. There are little bits that you can change in the settings to make it so that, followers posts turn up first and stuff like that. All that kind of thing, which is all good. I think that's all great. I like Threads. I liked Instagram. I feel like pictures and all that sort of stuff is meant to be tied into it more than Twitter was. Like, Twitter just got too full of ads in general and just shit. Anyway, not rambling on that, but the big thing I think for Threads in particular is that there's a lot of people that have given up on social media that now have come back going, hey, look at this new thing. So it's been good to reconnect to people for the change and do that sort of stuff.
It's cleansed.
Yeah, and once everything ties together, I think that'll be really good. I don't think Twitter's going to go over there, but then Twitter did remind me about one thing that really fucking pisses me off. And they're going to change the way that Twitter works. And to be clear, Threads, they've classified Threads as microblogging. And you can do very long threads in Threads.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be like a little bit longer posts and a bit more wordy than Twitter is meant to be. But you can also post up to 10 images on a thing, which is fucking 6 more than Twitter lets you.
Oh, and I love that the picture quality is generally better. And like
everything's
carousels.
better. And the hosting's already done with Meta and so on and so forth. So it's a lot of good things. Anyway, I don't want to, I'm not blowing smoke up Meta's ass. They've still got to do a lot of things like hashtags and stuff like that, and just general sort of control the messaging. But it did remind me of this thing that Twitter does that people don't really know about. We talked about it a little bit when we talked about how they opened the source code for Twitter, or publish the code of the algorithm.
Yeah.
And Twitter does the thing called circles, which is basically they glump you in with people that you think you like listening to, and you'll see their stuff more than anyone else's. So who you follow doesn't matter. Your circle is your circle. So if you follow 1,000 people because you want to see 1,000 people's worth of content, you're not going to see that. You're going to see 50 people's worth of content. They're your circle. You have no control over that. That is purely an algorithm thing that they decide, which sucks because I follow a lot of people who maybe don't tweet or post that much, so I don't interact with them so much. So the algorithm says I don't want to interact with them, and therefore they fall out of my circle, and I don't ever get to see them again. And they're like, hey, why am I tweeting and no one's seeing my content? It's because you're not in a circle with active people. You've been relegated to the kiddie table or whatever.
Yep.
So Twitter's come out and said they're going to get rid of that. They realize that's a bad idea and it's going to change it to a more better flowing thing. But they've also came out and said they want to sue Threads because Threads just copied everything they did.
Because they have former Twitter staff members working at Threads.
Yeah, but Zuck also said that no one from Twitter's working on Threads. But also, how do you get upset about the people you sacked and kicked out on the street?
And he made fun of on Twitter afterwards.
Yeah.
Like he was actively being like, haha, these people, I mean, if they were talented, they'd be staying here anyway, so they're shit.
I mean, you can't really be like, hey, that person I kicked out and mocked for 6 weeks, why would he want to make a competitive product?
Yeah. Why would he be motivated?
They're powered by spite. The internet is powered by spite. The people want to see Elon Musk.
I'm powered by spite.
They want to see him come down a peg or two. And you know what? I think he needs to. I think he needs to fucking eat some humble pie. And it's just the fact because he was running his mouth and he ended up at Twitter and now he doesn't know what he's doing with it. I think the awkward thing is that they just put on a brand new CEO for Twitter, and she's like trying to sell this concept that Twitter is this, one of a kind experience that can't be replicated, while Elon Musk is in the other room saying we're going to sue him for replicating it. So it's kind of it's such a fucking mess. It's unbelievable. But I honestly think Threads is going to go really well. I think that if people embrace it, it's going to go really well. It seems to be more positive. There's definitely a lot of people out there just clamoring to try and get followers and stuff like that, and they're posting as much shit as possible.
There's some like shit posting going on there too. It's pretty unhinged.
It's like people being like, yo, reply to this comment if you like milk.
Do you like milk?
Well, I'm not going to reply to the comment. I don't want to. It's like they're just farming. They're farming fucking anything they can to get likes because that's the only way to do it because you've got no hashtags, no discoverability happening yet on the platform. Yeah. But it'll come anyway. Like it's get in there day one, get yourself set up, get familiar with it so that when those opportunities come up, you can get in there and go, okay, well, I know what's going on. yeah, I know how to post a video. You know, things like, okay, so if you post a video on Threads, you need to opt in for audio. So many people were like, check out my new TikTok video, whatever, and they just like put them up, and then everyone's like, it's got no audio.
Silent.
It's got no audio, and they're like, oh, I don't know what's wrong. It's like, well, you don't know what's going on. You're just posting shit for the sake of posting shit,
and like post and just like check the details.
Yeah, so it's good. I had an interaction. I think it was at MSI. They were posting like, hey, you can't DM us on this yet because I don't have DMs on Threads. And they're like, but if you can DM us on Instagram, just send us your cat photos. I sent him 30 chip photos. I sent MSI 30 chip photos, and they were like, what the fuck?
You delivered. They asked, you delivered.
I sent a video of Chip screaming because he wouldn't let you bite him as well.
Yeah, it's typical Chip.
And they're just like, this is fantastic. I love this. And then, now we follow each other. You got that brand door just opened up for cat photos. Yeah, I think it's good. I think Elon has shot himself in the foot, in the face, in the arm, in the leg, just being an absolute cockhead. And unless he eats humble pie and lets some people that know what they're doing to fix it, I think you'll just see Twitter kind of fade out. And it was a great bit that I saw on TikTok, and they were talking about how Instagram stories used to be. Instagram stories used to be from Snapchat. Reels came from fucking what's the other short form that disappeared? Vines.
Vine, yeah.
So Meta stole that from them, and then them, and then old mate Twitter's like, because it was a bit, and they're like, Twitter's like all angry and stuff. It's like, how dare you can't steal this sort of stuff. And then the other social media is like, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna roll over and die? And then MySpace is like, nah, you just get knocked down a peg or two. I'm like, that's it. Yep. Twitter's going to become the new MySpace. MySpace is still there. You can use MySpace. Do you see any creators being like, hey, I posted my Go Live notification on MySpace?
MySpace at the moment is mostly music, I think, these days.
Yes. That is the simplest way to put it. It's also the ghetto.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the nicest way to put it. But that's just from a statistics point of view, it's the ghetto. It's not a classy white person place to be. That's the facts. That's how it is. I'm not trying to say anything more than that. Is what it is. I'm not. It's just look at the facts. And but nothing happened to MySpace. Just Facebook came wrong. MySpace did no wrong. What did MySpace do wrong?
I mean, it didn't really innovate. It didn't add any
didn't do anything
for a very long time.
Oh my god, that sounds like Twitter.
Just sort of. Twitter keeps innovating features nobody wants.
That is true. MSN did buy MySpace and then fuck it up and then just didn't do anything about it. Tom's doing fine. Don't worry about Tom. He's everyone's friend. Exactly. He's in many people's top 8 still.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's where Twitter will just sort of fade out.
It's like Tumblr now. Fade out to obscurity. Has a dedicated niche of people who still post on it religiously, but ultimately it's a nostalgia thing. Yeah, it's awkward because from a world news perspective, Twitter was a leader. Like it was a leader, and like people would announce shit on like basically the US government for the time Trump was there was run off Twitter. Oh yeah.
And now we're talking about it like it's going to turn MySpace and it's just going to have fucking obscure fucking C-grade bands pushing their demos.
Or podcasts.
Or podcasts? Maybe. I don't know. There's better podcast programs out there. So, yeah, anyway, it's the social media space is just so fucking wild at the moment. There's nothing, I don't know how else to put it. I think Threads will take off. I think 70 plus million people, can't be wrong. It's definitely it feels a little bit like TikTok at the moment, where if you post something, it will get likes for a day and then it kind of just disappears into the feed. Into the whatever, but I think once
I don't get like Threads is interesting because I'll get either instant gratification or I won't get any, and then the next day I get likes. Yeah.
And I should say, okay, so one more thing that we should talk about before we wrap up because we are on time as well. I discovered that there is a shortage in GPUs around because, well, I didn't think so. I didn't think it was that bad, but basically, NVIDIA reached out to me and said that, hey, your community nominated you to get a graphics card. We want to give you a 4060 Ti for me, because I get the good one. But we also want to give you 2 4060s to give away. Just give them away to your community, whoever wants them, basically, is what they've said. They said, explain to them that they're 4060s, they're made with a certain purpose in mind, go through their features and so on and so forth. Their purpose in mind is that they are brand new chips that take the most out of AI DLSS 3, which basically means that it predicts the frames and generates the frames without never necessarily having to power the frames, uses less power, double the frames. Beautiful. Great for making games and stuff, right? All cool. So I tweeted out, hey, like his post, comment if you're looking for a graphics card. Let's see how we go. Holy shit, has my notifications been on fire?
People love stuff for free.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily, like if you're running a 3080, you don't want a 4060.
People people who don't do their research will be like, that's obviously going to be a better card. It's a different generation.
And this is my point. Don't put your hand up if it's not going to be a better card. Like if I'm running a 2070 Super, which the 4060 Ti is a better card for what I want to do, but a 4060 is kind of whatever compared. Like they're about on par in terms of power.
My 2080 Super is on par with a 4060.
So your 2080 Super can do the same thing, but it will use more power. It'll use 30% more power to generate the same thing that this card will do.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But from a gaming perspective, ticks the box, right? From a I want to power my VTuber perspective, your VTuber doesn't have DLSS 3.
No. Yeah,
Starfield doesn't have DLSS 3. Someone commented on there that I'd love to have this card to play Starfield. Starfield doesn't have DLSS 3. Someone commented on there, I don't have a computer, I'd love to get a graphics card. Someone commented on there, it's my birthday, I'd love a graphics card.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. If you want something, put some effort into it. Don't go free computer, please. It's not going to work. And it's from my community. So if I have no idea who you are, you don't follow me, and the only effort that you've made is you saw free GPU and posted on it, you're not a part of the community. You're not going to get the card. It's pretty straightforward, really.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's been some great little posts and stuff on there. A lot of people running on 10 series cards. I think the worst is probably 1060. I think a few people mentioned that they got like a 970, but I don't know them, so I don't know if that's true. And also, one of them I hit back and said, hey, so what do you play if you were only running a 970? And they never replied. So it's like, yeah. So I genuinely would like to give this card to someone who wants it. I think there's been a couple of posts what someone said, hey, I really want this card because I want to play Diablo. And I can understand from someone who doesn't have a decent computer that if I had the 4060 Ti, I'd probably want to play some Diablo too because I feel like it'll run a lot better now. So I respect that. That is an honest answer, which I can help you with this card. Makes sense. But yeah, when people were like, hey, I want to do more streaming stuff and I'm running a 3060 already, it's like, no, 3080 or whatever. It's like, no, it's not going to help. I'm sorry. I'd appreciate someone to do a little bit more work other than, I want a free card. Please give me card. I see free card. I'd like card. So I do have 2 cards to give away, and I will give them away. Basically, not next weekend, weekend after is the last day.
You've got the hard job of figuring out who to give it to.
I think it's just going to be basically a point system. If I like your response, you're part of the community, you need a new card, and you fucking deserve it, it'll go into a bucket with all the other people that made all that criteria, and we'll just draw it out of a bucket. Done. Easy. But
sure.
It's but it's also the only other thing that concerned me, right? If you're running a 9070, that's as an example, and I give you a 4060, I don't think you're going to be able to just pull out one card and stick the other one in.
No, there might be other issues with the system.
I don't think that's going to work. And that's my other concern is when people were like, yo, I got this really shit computer. Or like people that I know that don't have a computer but have a laptop and they're asking for a card. It's like, this isn't for a laptop. You know that, right? This is not how that works. Just little concerns like that. Like I'd hate to give it to someone and they're like, oh, it didn't work. It's like, well, fuck.
Then you're going to see it on Facebook for sale in a local marketplace.
Well, that'll be the absolute fucking gut punch.
That'd be hilarious because it'll happen.
Yeah, I just like is it Kira, the dragon VTuber, got nominated, and she was just like, "We'll just burn it."
Burn it.
I'm like, that is literally what I think a VTuber would do to that card: is just light it on fire, trying to run your VTuber on a fucking 4K off a 4060 card. You don't have DLSS. You're going to be asking for raw power, and the poor card's going to be going, Captain, I can't give it no more power. She's got all she's got to give.
Yeah, it's definitely not built for us.
No, unfortunately. You guys need that raw power, or you need people to make VTubing more optimized. I don't know. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, good luck with that. I don't even, my textures aren't even that big, and I'm still laggy.
Exactly, that's my point.
I don't even have that many vertices. My phone does my tracking for me, but I'm still fucked.
Basically. Anyway, we need to wrap things up. So, Shelby, what's happening for you this week?
Thursday I'm streaming. Not sure what I'm doing, but it'll probably maybe be Forever Skies because I started playing that this week. It was good. On Saturday, though, I'm probably kicking off my 24-hour stream, so that will be around 10 a.m. I'll post the concrete details about that on Twitter, and I've got some slots lined up with special guests to help break up the sort of stream, to do little games with, and also you'll be substituting in for like 2 hours of the stream, so I can have a break too.
Am I?
Yeah, you are.
I thought Chip was.
Chip is, sorry, the cat.
Yeah, Chip's going to stream for a couple of hours.
Yeah, so I would appreciate anyone going to be there, even have the stream open for love and support, because I already struggle streaming long streams, period. So this should be.
And I won't be there because I have to work next weekend.
You have to work, yeah. So keep me company. But the good thing is it'll be just after I get paid, so I'll be able to buy snacks.
Snacks.
Yeah.
And the other game that I'd like you to try is Dave the Diver, which I think if everyone's heard about Dave the Diver, it just seems like a fucking unhinged wild time, and I love it. So I think that'll be good. But yeah, shenanigans, which should be good. This is your from your charity stream, yeah.
Yes, they raised enough money with Game on Cancer, so I've got to start delivering on my promises. So starting with this 24-hour stream.
Fucking oath. Cool. As for me, I'm playing Persona 5. That's it.
Persona 5 Royale, sorry. That's different.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't finish it this week, unfortunately.
No.
My
It'll be
God.
about 3 weeks.
Well, you know what? The problem is now it's starting to creep up where I'm looking at it going, am I going to finish all the games that I've said I'm going to finish before Starfield? Because Starfield's like what?
Or before your next charity thing.
Doesn't matter. Starfield.
The fun thing for me is Starfield and Phantom Liberty come out at the same time, roughly. Like a few weeks separate.
Phantomfield.
Star Phantoms. Yeah.
Star Phantom Fields.
Star Liberty.
I'm probably going to do a couple 48-hour streams just to get things done. Just smash through those fucking goals.
Might have to make my 24-hour streams a habit.
Just do it 24 hours every day. 24-hour Starfield. No, wait, that's not how it works. Fuck. I don't know. I'm going to be playing Persona all week, and I'm hoping to maybe mix in some other games. I want to try and finish off, do some side games that we've been promised before we get too far away from them. I know that Frog traded in his League of Legends stream for a BattleBit stream, so we might do a BattleBit weekend.
And I bet you're so happy about that.
BattleBit's a much better game than League of Legends. Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I can't wait. I've been playing a little bit. It's just hectic. It's so hectic because you have 250-something people on the match at any one time. It's just bodies and bullets and shit everywhere. It's great. Anyway, that's it from us for this week. I do want to just put out a little precursor as well to say that next week, which is episode 99, we do have a fairly substantial announcement that we need to make, which hopefully all our ducks are in the row before we get to that. Judging by today, where Tame couldn't make it, and we were hoping maybe to get Frog on, and didn't happen. Hopefully we get all our ducks in a row and we can get through some shit this next week. And then next week we've got some, maybe 2 announcements, maybe 1. Just depends on how many ducks we can line up.
Just be there and we'll tell you about ducks.
Well, yeah, exactly. Be there next week for duck time. But thanks for hanging out. And we'll see you all again next week. And I'm just thinking maybe Shelby's even going to be awake after 24 hours.
After 24 hours? No, I've scheduled a nap.
Okay, scheduled nap and then podcast next week. See you all then.
Bye-bye.